Have you ever felt just completely stuck, like you were in this cycle, that you're frustrated with something and you don't know how to get out of it? If you haven't been there, you will be at some point in life. We all go through that, whether it's at a point in your business or your health or a relationship or a decision that you're trying to make. Sometimes it's hard to feel like, how can I make this change, or how is anything different possible? So I'm going to take you through a series of questions or an exercise that will help you process through this. And you can do this real time with me right now. I'm going to use an example of health and fitness, and then I'm going to go into a business example that might apply to you. But as I'm doing this, I want you to stop and think, what area in your life right now are you just feeling kind of defeated and stuck and frustrated? And then as I go through these questions, answer them for yourself, excuse me, and maybe even take out a piece of paper and write down or journal, or come back to this later when you have some more time to really reflect on it for yourself. So first I want you to start by naming, what is that area that you are stuck in right now? And I'm gonna use the example, like I said, to start with, of a fitness example. So let's say that I'm older. I'm only 39, so I'm not old yet, but let's say I'm maybe 50. And I'm feeling like, I've gained weight, I've lost flexibility, I'm having a hard time going up the stairs, and I'm feeling super stuck. I don't know where to start. I think that I'm too old to start, and I'm just defeated in this. Okay, so that's the scenario we're in right now. We're feeling stuck with that. Where we start is with your belief. So you have a belief in this example that you're too old, right? So the belief is, I'm too old, I can't change, I don't know where to start, I don't have the resources I need. Whatever that belief is, that's where it starts. Everything starts with your thinking. You never just end up somewhere in life. If you take a result and trail it all the way back, it always starts with thoughts. And your thoughts form beliefs. So stop and ask yourself, what are the thoughts that are going through my mind? And what belief is surrounding that, or what's the story I'm telling myself? Well, I'm old and decrepit and I can't do it. Or nobody's there to help me, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the resources. You're telling yourself a story, or a story is just habitually playing through your mind. So we need to stop and just ask ourselves, what is that belief I'm holding on to, or what's that thought process that I have? So it starts there. Now, as you can imagine, that belief leads to behavior. So if I believe I'm too old and I can't do it, then what behavior or I'll say action or lack of action am I going to take? Well, I don't go to the gym. I sit on the couch. I eat what I want to eat because it doesn't feel worthwhile to try anything different, right? This belief leads to behavior or action or a lack of action. And then those, you won't be surprised to know, leads to a result. So what is the result? Maybe over the course of a year you gain more weight and you lose more mobility and you're more prone to injury. And over time that compounds. So again, beliefs or thoughts lead to actions, which lead to results. So any area you're stuck in life, you can look at where you're at and track it all the way back to a thought. And the thought creates a story, right? So now, how do we get unstuck? Here's the fun part. We're gonna go straight down again to results. It's a fun little loop. And I'm gonna pause and just say, this is where you're gonna need to just be courageous with yourself and have a very open mind. Your mind has been wired and trained to run that loop over and over and over. So you're gonna have to actually take some effort to put a stop to that loop, the way you would tell somebody else to stop a certain thought or stop a certain behavior. So in order for you to consider, what is the result that I want, you just need to have an open mind and pretend we're just, we're being creative and we're writing up a vision idea right now. So the result is that I want to be jacked by the time I'm 50. I want to be, 22% body fat and super lean. Okay, awesome. That's the result I want. Okay, so if I want that result, what behavior would I need to do to get that result? What action would I need to take? Well, I probably have to hire a trainer because I don't know what action to take. Or I could start by just going to the gym every day and do a class with somebody, or call up my friend Nancy who can go to the gym with me, or whatever it might be. There's some behavior that would need to happen in order to change that result. Okay, and then no surprise, actually this arrow goes this way. We need to ask ourselves, what belief or thought do I need to change? What's the new story that I need to tell myself? And story is not fake. It's a framework around your thoughts, right? So what if the new belief was, I am capable and I believe that I have resources around me that can help point me in the right direction. And yeah, I'm older, but I'm not too old. I believe that you can start at any point in life, and today is just as good as yesterday was. So I believe that now is a good time for me to start. So instead of believing I'm too old and I can't do it, the new belief is, I believe that now is a good time to start, and I do have the resources to help me find the path forward. Now, like I said earlier, your mind is going to want to play that old loop over and over and over. And my mom actually, this is a funny story. My mom actually told me this once. I had a crush on a guy in junior high, and he did not give me the time of day. And I just could not stop thinking about him. She said, every time you think about him, put up a mental stop sign in your head, and before you know it, you'll just be over it and moving on. And I did that. Every time I had that thought, I just stopped the thought where it was and moved on. And you do need to rewire your brain sometimes. So you have an old belief or an old thought pattern. If you don't want that thought to create actions that create results, you have to stop the thought first. So I'm going to put up a stop sign, stop the thought, and I'm going to replace it with the new belief that I would need to believe in order to move forward. And you're just basically retraining your brain because we get so into that pattern, okay? So let's take this to business. This is a common one. I'm stuck at a ceiling in my growth. But more than that, I'm out of whack. I'm working 60 hours a week. My life is really out of balance and I don't feel happy right now, but I also I don't think that there's anything that I can do differently. I don't want to build a team. I don't want to hire people. So I'm just stuck working all the time and I can't tell these clients no. Okay, that's a stuck spot. So what's the belief? The belief behind that, if I was going to dig, oftentimes is I'm the only one that can do this job the way that I can do it. And I don't want to or can't give up control to get any help with my business. Okay, so that's a valid belief that you have right now. Well, what behavior or action is that leading to? Well, that's leading to me working nonstop. And what is the inaction? That's another question to ask. I'm not looking at hiring anybody. I'm not talking to a coach. I'm not doing X, Y, and Z that might cause a different result because I just don't believe it's possible. Okay, so what's the result? And I'll say this with a lot of love. Usually, and I talk to a lot of people in this scenario, usually the result is either burnout in business or burnout in some other area of life. So relationships fail or health fails or your finances behind the scenes are a disaster. The results show up in a lot of ways if we get too out of whack for too long, and then it's not what we want in life. So what's the new result that you want? Again, be open-minded. If you could just wave a magic wand, what would the new result be? Well, in an ideal world, I'd be working 35, 40 hours a week. I would have dynamic relationships. I would be eating well and taking care of myself and, skiing every weekend, whatever your hobby is. Okay, great. And just be open again and let yourself dream that way. What behavior would have to happen in order for you to get there? Well, I'd either need to give some business away and know that I'm going to make less money, or I would have to hire help. Really, those are kind of the only two. Or I hire a coach, and the coach helps me see some other possibilities that I'm just not seeing right now. Okay, so that's the behavior or the action that you might take to help you get to those results. What belief or thought would you need to change? Well, I guess I'd have to believe that somebody could help me. And I would ask you in that moment, is it possible? Have you seen anybody else scale a business? Walmart, Target, any chain. They scale based on systems and standards that they have, right? So the question again is it possible? Have you seen anybody doing that before? Do you think it's possible that there's somebody out there that's capable, that could help you and do as good or better job than you? Well, I haven't met him yet. No, I just asked, do you think it's possible? Yeah, it's possible, Jen. Okay. All right, so now we know that it's possible. And sometimes you have to really get serious with yourself about that and pare it down all the way. Okay, the belief is it is possible that there's somebody out there that could help me with my job. And then again, be open to that and continue to tell yourself that as the old thought, the stuck thoughts show up, stop them and bring in the new thought and let it create a new belief, and that will change your behavior. It will change your action. And by the way, I don't know if you're big law of attraction people, but that attracts different things into your life. When people view you as being closed off to opportunity, do you think they're going to approach you or be attracted to working with somebody that's controlling everything they have? Not as much if you're like, you know what, I do believe there's somebody out there that could help me with this. You're open, you're different, and you show up differently, and that leads to actions and behaviors sometimes that are even hard to pinpoint because you speak differently, you show your energy is different, and that opens up different possibilities for you. So I know sometimes this is hard to see when we're in our own heads, right? It's hard to be objective. So I'm always going to put this offer out there. If you want help, this is one of my favorite things to do, whether it's in a personal area of your life that you're feeling stuck. I know that, we coach to the whole person, because that needs to be on stock in order for you. Your business is only going to grow to the extent that you do. So whatever area it is that you're feeling stuck in, feel free to DM me. Happy to set up a time where we can chat and hopefully kind of untangle some of these things for you. In the meantime, have an awesome rest of the week and happy Whiteboard Wednesday.